analysis.
Roadblocks in the way of those investigating Hezbollah and the evil infliction of harm they were doing upon Americans. The article goes on, according to interviews with dozens of participants who in many cases spoke for the first time about events shrouded in secrecy, and a review of government documents and court records, when Project Cassandra leaders sought approval for some significant investigations, prosecutions, arrests, and financial sanctions, officials at the Justice and Treasury Departments delayed, hindered, or rejected their requests. Let's see, that would be Bob Mueller at the FBI. Let's see, he had already purged the FBI training materials so that FBI agents, as they came in, would not know what questions to ask. So when they went out to interview Tsarnaev, after we got a heads up that he was a terrorist, he'd been radicalized, those FBI agents didn't know what to ask. Why? Because Bob Mueller purged the training material, so they didn't know what to ask. They didn't know what to look for in a radical Islamist. They went and asked his mother. And he said, no, he's a good boy. He's not a terrorist. And there were people that died because of Bob Mueller purging the FBI training materials, so they didn't even know what they were looking for. And when I was cross-examining him before our committee, I said, you didn't even go out to the mosque where they attended to investigate them. He indicated they did go out to the mosque in their outreach program where they sit down and play patty cake, share a meal, and the last thing they do would be to inquire about one of the mosque attendees being radicalized. They didn't bother to do that. They were too busy making merry in their outreach program. He also testified on one occasion that the Islamic community is like every other religious community in America, and they have this wonderful outreach program with them, and it's working so well. So I asked the question, well, you said the Islamic community is like every other community in America, and you have this wonderful outreach program with them. So let me ask you, how's your outreach program going with the Buddhists and the Jewish and the Baptists and all these other communities? Well, they don't have an outreach program to any except the Islamic community. So that told me then this isn't just like every other community. They don't have outreach communities to every other religious community in America because they're not worried about them blowing up innocent people to the extent they apparently were before Mueller came along. In any event, back to this article, the Justice Department declined requests by Project Cassandra, other authorities to file criminal charges against major players such as Hezbollah, high-profile envoy to Iran, a Lebanese bank that allegedly laundered billions in alleged drug profits, and a central player in a U.S.-based cell of the Iranian paramilitary Quds Force. And the State Department rejected requests to lure high-value targets to countries where they could be arrested. And so Justice Department during that period, of course, would have been Eric Holder. I believe I saw him in the news recently. He had forgotten how he was in contempt of Congress, how he covered up, obfuscated crimes that appeared to be occurring under his watch. And now we find out just days after his high-profile blasting of what was going on here, trying to get to the truth. Turns out he was obfuscating just like we found he was doing, hindering, obstructing justice. We really needed a special counsel to investigate him, but of course, he was not going to have a special counsel investigate himself, nor was Loretta Lynch going to allow a special counsel to investigate Eric Holder and Loretta Lynch. We still need one to investigate both of them. And the more we find out,